Contrary to popular belief, what's not a bad thing? Being single, and being okay with being single, and not constantly looking for a relationship. Not knowing something. It's not shameful to admit it. Curious children. That's like the best thing for a child to be because they want to learn the facts and form their own opinions. But parents act as if they are like inappropriate or annoying. Asking for help. I'm so bad at this. I'm far too stubborn to ever admit I need help at anything ever. It's comedic to S point, but it's definitely a legit problem I have. Political leaders admitting they are wrong and doing a U-turn. Not being into social media doesn't mean you are behind the times. It's a choice. Saying no when someone asks you to do something that they are entirely capable of doing. Like, my neighbor just called me to come fix her guest bed. She has a house full of relatives from California in, and I really don't feel like exposing myself to whatever might be in that house. Plus, why can't one of them fix the damn bed? I said I was busy, but I might be able to do it later. I'm on the fence about this. Disappointing your parents or friends by your life decisions. Usually, they come around in time. When they see what you chose is what makes you happy, and that is what they really wanted in the end anyway. It can be an uncomfortable wait until that time comes, but it is shorter and feels better than a lifetime of regret. Putting your own happiness before the expectations of your family. Edit. I'm going to clarify that I meant more along the line that you shouldn't allow the expectations from family members like parents / grandparents / uncles / aunts etc to get in the way of what makes you happy. I kept the comment more open-ended since situations can differ wildly and different people can have different reasons for feeling this way, so I didn't want to be too specific. I've heard a bunch of people spouting off recycling isn't worth it. It is even worse for the environment than just throwing it away. Apostrophe. This is case of hearing something correct and just blanket applying it to everything. There are certain things that are undeniably better to recycle, specifically metals. And for glass and paper there are ways to make it environmentally positive. Plastics are the hardest due to contamination, but we can make it better as well as reduce single-use plastics. Yes, corporations tricked us into believing recycling was the key to fixing the environment. But that doesn't mean that recycling can't be useful. I searched through and didn't see this one, so sorry if it's already included. But not going to college is not a bad thing. I say this with some level of authority on the matter as I'm a college professor, full-time, tenured, over a decade into the game. I have seen hundreds of students go to college who have no interest in learning. They go because they are told they have to in order to secure personal success and financial stability. So many of these students fail classes, destroy their GPA, don't graduate, take out a ton of loans, etc. There are so many people with college degrees working in food service, retail, hospitality, etc. And none of them really needed a college degree at all. Yet they have one. They paid a ton for it, and now have to pay all those loans back for something they aren't using. And I get it. No time learning is time wasted. I truly believe that. But you don't need to be in college to learn. If you major in physics, but refuse to leave your town of 20,000 people and have no interest in teaching, it doesn't matter if you got a 4.0. You'll be working slinging pizzas regardless. Edit. Thanks for all the awards everyone. I had a really bad day and that has made me smile a bit. I'm a big believer in trade schools and voteches for this. Even if you just do it for a few years while you work your way through college or work on figuring out what you want to be, that's fine. So many schools / school counselors / teachers told us that we were second-hand citizens if we didn't get our degree, that we wouldn't find good jobs, that life would suck. So I got the degree, worked in it for 4 years, hated it and quit, started working in the trades, figured out what I do like and make more now than I ever have. Somebody who changes their beliefs, know better, do better, right? There's a lot of things I used to believe or think when I was younger and more sheltered than I currently think. Age and experience change perceptions, and I think that's healthy in most cases. Defending yourself against a customer who is extremely rude. Using a credit card if you're sensible and ensure it's paid off at the end of every month. There are many perks, cash back, air miles etc. Failure. I worked for a white-collar criminal defense firm for many years. Many of our clients would have saved themselves from criminal charges merely by letting their businesses fail. I believe that knowing how to fail should be taught as part of MBA programs. MSG. That's it. Being basic in the sense that you have likes and hobbies similar to a group of people. Disliking your family. If your family always have been a bunch of assholes to you, what is the sense of even having respect for them? Giving up. Sometimes giving up is the best thing you can do. Receiving a very small tax return. It means you estimated your deductions correctly and you didn't overpay on your taxes. Being alone. It's far less stressful than having other people around. Breaking tradition. It's important to question why we do things and not just go along with it because it's been like that for years. Peer pressure from dead people. Being ordinary. I second this. We are not all main characters in a movie, and that's perfectly fine, as long as we're content with our lives. Not being super ambitious about your work/career. My job is a means to an end. I enjoy it sometimes, but at the end of the day it's not something I enjoy doing in my free time. It's just something that has a good wage and I don't mind doing it. Wikipedia. Being frugal, to a point. I think being able to control spending habits, save money, and being able to assess what items are necessary vs excessive in one's life is often overlooked in a consumerist society. Until this year, I was using my iPhone 4 happily. Friends and family would constantly make jokes about my ancient phone and how I'm just too cheap to buy a new one. The truth was that it was still working fine and fulfilling all the needs I had for a phone. So why spend money to replace something that is still working? Note, I'm not advocating for the extremes of this like my previous roommate who refused to turn on our account or heating. It once read 51 degrees F on our thermostat during December. According to someone close to me, not having an opinion about something important to them is being rude and inconsiderate. I just think that I don't care about what they care about. It isn't important or offensive to me, so I don't care about it one bit. I'm not sure how to categorize this, but this bugs me about people. My husband and I have talked about this several times. We like to get each other's opinions on things and sometimes we don't have one because the topic or subject doesn't have any weight, impact, bearing or whatever on the comfort or discomfort or morals of our life. It's like selecting a bottle of water. Take 2 bottles, same bottle type, same amount of water, same price, no difference in taste. Does it really matter which one you get? Death isn't always a bad thing. There's a lot of people who suffer with degenerative illnesses or are in extreme pain every day of their lives. I saw this happen to my granddad after he had a brain tumor. By the end it was for the best that he passed away. Obviously untimely deaths are sad, but sometimes you need to accept that being alive and truly living are 2 different things. Small boobs or medium boobs. Literally no boobs are bad. Are you ashamed of your small boobs? Don't be. Are you a man ashamed of his man boobs? Don't be. Are you ashamed of someone else's boobs? Knock it off. Boobs are great. Boobs make the world go round. Crying. Holding it can cause way more harm than do it. Asking for help. Getting a full night's sleep every night and also having a good work/life balance. The 2 thing not being entirely unconnected. I would say that getting efficient and good sleep, enough REM and deep sleep every night is essential to being able to work more and do more things. Just like diet is essential, your mind is just biological as well. Its health and resistance to stress and fortitude can be increased by your body being more resilient and stronger as well. nuclear power. Not wanting to have kids. Introducing an entire human life into the world where it heavily depends on you physically, emotionally, and financially for over a decade is a huge deal that people should absolutely put a lot of thought into. Yet many people do it simply because that's just what you do, and babies are cute. And then they're constantly complaining about how it's suddenly hard being a parent. Parenthood isn't for everyone. It's a huge decision. People should treat it as such instead of acting like it's a trend. I wish society would quit looking down on those who choose to live a more quiet and stable life instead. My daughter doesn't want kids. I support her decision 100% and I will never understand parents who try to convince or bully their children to give them grandchildren. That is not a right you have just because you raised a child to adulthood. Your child is a person in their own right with their own hopes and dreams. GMO in food. Being a virgin. Just because nobody has shoved themselves inside you, or you haven't shoved yourself inside someone else doesn't mean you're worth any less as a person. Being bad at the thing you spend hours doing. I mean, you can always just do it for fun without actually wanting to improve. Be it art, video games or singing. Rain. Not liking animals. And this is coming from an animal lover. Some people just don't like them for various reasons, and so long as they don't mistreat them, they aren't monsters. Using violence to defend yourself or others. It's sad that it comes to that, but if someone is hell-bent on causing you harm, and your only choice is to use violence to stop them, it's not bad. Applying for unemployment. Not being close with family. My family have done nothing wrong. They're good. Generally non-toxic people. I quite like them for the most part. But I hate the idea of being obligated to family. Giving up my time to go to a cousin's birthday that I haven't seen for years. Or helping a distant relative move house. BAKUSET heart is W hearty family SDO. The blood that runs through me means nothing to me. Popping your knuckles. Divorce. Crying. I'm a 63, 230 pound construction worker, and I cry a couple times a year. There's nothing wrong with letting your emotions out. Looking out for your mental and physical health first. Settling. I put in quotes, because it has such a negative connotation. But I went through a very rough divorce, and it took me a bit to find someone who felt like they could be a life partner again. Because he's jobless and has no higher education degrees, though. Friends have accused me of settling for him. Well, yeah, I am. I'm settling for contentment and happiness. Why is that bad? Someone else might make you happier. Fulfill your needs better. Apostrophe. Maybe. But like, I'm happy where I'm at. Why would I tear all that up? Because something could be. Being unproductive in your free time. It's your free time, spend it how you choose. You don't have to be productive if you don't want to. Grown men caring about kids. Want to continue to keep the burden of childbearing on women? Keep telling men they are creepy for taking their kids to the park or babysitting their nephews/nieces. Black cats. Hating family members when they've ducked you over on purpose multiple times. I hate when tells me but their family. Well, they should acted like family then. Hayden Christensen's portrayal of Anakin Skywalker. He did a great job with what crappy writing he was given. Not being close with family. Some families are great, some not so much. Sleeping during the day and staying up all night. Some people are more comfortable being up at night and sleeping during the day like myself. I used to work a few overpass jobs and it's disheartening how many people still look down on those who don't wake up at the crack of dawn and go to bed in the evening. Fat in food. Saturated fat is very bad for you, but unsaturated fat is good, and you need it in your diet. Sarcasm. Marriage. Popular culture has made negative jokes about marriage for years and years, always joking about it being a prison. The people writing and originally receiving those jokes knew they were jokes. but eventually it started becoming less of a joke for so many. I get that marriage itself isn't innately good, but it can be such an amazing thing when with the right person. Marriage itself has both sides of this crap. If people choose not to get married, it's a big deal and people will question if you really love each other that much. But then those same people can get married later, and then it's all the old ball and chain. The only thing that literally matters is the couple are happy. But people can't leave it at that. Choosing an unmarried/unpartnered life. I truly believe that being in a long-term relationship where you have to live together for life just isn't for everybody. For some, it's better to have a series of long relationships or shorter ones. There are people who want to live together, and some who don't. A life without romance and/or sex is just fine for some people, too. It's true that life alone can be harder, and the way the world is made up, it's mostly so two people can share the load. So you need to be creative or just live with it. As to having children, there are so many ways to be a parent these days. Just being in a single 2-parent unit isn't the only option anymore. You can have a kid on your own or with other people, but not be married to them or even live with them. And you don't have to have 1 or 2 parent families. For some, opting out of the lifelong love rumored path will mean giving up the joy of children and grandchildren. But if they are willing to give that up for the life that fits them better, they shouldn't be shamed for it or feel they need to turn into someone who isn't a child. I'd love to have had children, but it just didn't fit into my lifestyle should be just as acceptable an answer as I would have loved to have had a jet-setting career, but I chose to focus on having a family instead. Apostrophe. Going to therapy. Not spending the holidays with your family. It's so much less stressful. Being without a large group of friends and acquaintances. For some people, having a wide social circle is great, but I think a lot of people end up preferring quality over quantity. As you get older, you have less time and, more importantly, less patience for more superficial social things and prefer quality time with people you love and trust. When it comes time to have a really big rager of a party, it can be hard to scrape up enough people to fill it, but this is really the only downside I can think of for most people. Children over 18 living with their parents. I lost both of my parents. I wish I could go back and spend a lot more time with them. Telling your parents no. Procrastination. I'll explain later. Showing feelings as a man, especially to loved ones. Admitting you don't know something. Relaxing. We have become a culture that seems to need stimulation 24/7. I know I have become one, and I really need to just relax, and it's hard. Not having sex/not being interested in sex. Canceling plans with friends if you just don't have the energy to do so. Leaving a childhood religion. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.